I attended New York City public schools from kindergarten through grade 12, where I had many good, a few outstanding, and some not so good teachers. But the person who most influenced me in education was certainly my maternal grandmother, Sadie Steckler. Grandma Sadie grew up in Rava-Ruska, which is now in Ukraine, came to the United States as a young woman at age 19, and fortunately never went back because the rest of her family did not survive the Holocaust. There are so many ways in which Grandma Sadie conveyed how important education is. For example, she told me that when she grew up in Eastern Europe, they did not teach girls to read. And she was so upset by that and made such a fuss that her father secretly taught her to read and write in Yiddish. When she came to the United States, she worked as a pastry chef because they did teach girls to cook back in Rava-Ruska. And she went to night school to learn English and became a very capable speaker, reader, and writer of English. When I spent time with her, Grandma Sadie always wanted to work with me on my homework, not check my homework, but work with me on it. And to this day, I don't know how often she was really learning new vocabulary or new science concepts or whatever we were working on, and how often she was pretending to do so to encourage me. But it was a great joy to learn and study together. Sadie's daughter, my mother Helen, was always a very talented artist who planned to be an art teacher. And in the classic Rosie the Riveter story, she began college, dropped out to work in the factories during World War II, then got married. My sister was born in 1948. I was born in 1952. And it wasn't until I was in about fifth or sixth grade that my mother went back to college, completed her BA, and got a master's in art education and became a teacher. From the moment my mother became a teacher, my grandmother would no longer refer to her or introduce her just as my daughter Helen. It was always, with the greatest of pride, my daughter Helen, the teacher. Grandma Sadie passed away when I was in graduate school, but I remember visiting her in the hospital when she would introduce me to everyone who came into her room as my grandson Glenn. He's going to be a professor. That's a college teacher, with that same wonderful pride in her voice. I'm sure Grandma Sadie was the influence that led me to spend the past 45 years of my career working to contribute to education. In doing so, I've had the pleasure of working with so many wonderful teachers throughout the country. And I just hope that each and every one of them has their own Grandma Sadie, who lets them know that the work they do is the most important work there is.